Hello, Shanti. Good evening.
Hello, Shanti. Good evening.
Hello, Shanti. Good evening. Shanti, good evening.
How is everyone doing?
Good, sir.
Today we thought to discuss on this topic of, we say wrong is right. Generally we say right is right, but wrong is also right. And it's quite subtle, it's like internally we keep on commenting about the scenes of life as, oh, this is wrong. This is not correct. This shouldn't have happened. Or even if someone is doing something, so this is wrong. They should not do this. Right? And versus this consciousness where we think everything is right. This happened, this is right. This is right. This is good. This is good. And so I was just thinking, like, in which consciousness do we have more thoughts? When we think wrong, things are going wrong, or when we think things are going right?
Things are going wrong. There are
Yeah.
thought process deviates from our
Yeah.
spirit, like the connected thoughts.
Connected, yeah.
Just a wired thought, like
Yeah.
wired is created.
Yeah.
It's strong.
Yeah, it's keep on repeating until it completely drains away the spiritual energy, right? So I can say, okay, of course nothing is perfect, so I can find wrong in anything. And then that's just, constantly think, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. In Hindi, there is a very beautiful idiom, kahavat. We used to study when we were kids. It says, बुरा जो देखन मैं चला, बुरा न मिलिया कोई, जो मन खोजा आपना, मुझसा बुरा न कोई. If I, go around finding faults and what is wrong in others, in the world, it's like no one else is to blame. But, if we look really, if we look within, then we find, oh, it's like, I am the one that is the one wrong because I'm having this thought about others. Yes, everything is wrong. And so today we thought, let us go a little deeper into this subject, like how this happens, because we all experienced this. It happens. And, in Sundays, Murali Baba was saying about 3 words. They start with par, right? He said, par,
Pardarshan, Parchintan.
Parmat. And I was just thinking, like, which means that, dictates of others or thinking about others or seeing or looking at others. So if someone is doing something wrong, will I think about them more? Or when someone is doing something right, will I think about them more?
Someone is doing wrong, I would think about it more.
Wrong. Yeah. When someone's doing wrong.
According to me, right? According to me, if I feel someone is doing wrong, then I'll think about it. And then my thoughts become parchintan. I'm looking at them, so it's pardarshan. And then, very subtly, I'll, begin to follow kind of those opinions, like say, okay, what do others they say about them? And, it's like my entire, thought process will be clouded by this energy. And I feel that's what Baba was saying, it's like, then we don't have time to make spiritual effort. There is no time for Swachintan. Swachintan, Baba said, was when I really, with interest, try to look within and find, okay, where is it that I need to improve? So that I know where is it that I need to change and I need to grow. I need to make more effort. Rather than that, throughout, it's like the consciousness is pulled into something very elusive, something which is not in my control. And then it just wastes a lot of time, a lot of energy. And that's why, Baba said then the fourth par is, what was the fourth par?
Paropakar.
Paropkar. Paropkar is really like, this attitude of good wishes, or when I see goodness or when I see that someone is doing right, only then I can have good wishes towards them. If I feel someone is doing wrong, or if I'm trying to find faults in others, then I really cannot have the vision of good wishes and pure feelings. It's not possible. Right. And so there is a very nice quote by Mother Teresa. She says, if you judge people, you have no time to love them. Isn't it? If you judge people, you have no time to love them. And, I can just spend a whole lifetime judging people. And then the love goes out of the window. There's no time to love. There's no time to really cherish, accept the person as they are, who they are, right? And so this whole thing of judging means, oh, you're wrong, you're right. That's judgment, right? Who am I to judge? I'll share with, this is a short story. Maybe you've heard it before. So there is a subway. Subway is like metro train, right? And so one station comes and there is one father with two kids. They board the train. And these two kids are crying and screaming very loudly. And the father is not doing anything. Now, others in the train, they begin to, look at the father. And for some time, they don't say anything. But after some time, one of them goes and say, what kind of a father you are? You don't even know how to, control your children. And this is not your home. This is a metro. This is subway. This is public place. You should be careful. So then this father paused for a second and said, I'm really sorry for your trouble. But just so you know that we are coming from the funeral of their mother. And I don't know how I can console them. If you know, you can try. So then suddenly, everyone realized. It's like the moment I judge, it means that I don't really know the entire story. If a person is, crying or screaming, what is it that is going, in their mind? What is the reason? Let me look into that. Let me look into the larger perspective rather than judging, this one is right, this one is wrong. Because really, it's just about perspective. Right? There's another little story. Just share that. So the story goes like this. So a teacher teaching math to a class of 6-year-olds asked a boy called Arnav in class, Arnav, If I give you 2 mangoes and 2 mangoes, how many will you have? Arnav said 5. Teacher said, Arnav, if I give 1, 2 mangoes and 1, 2 mangoes, how many will you have? 5, replied Arnav. The teacher was upset but remembered that Arnav's mom had said that Arnav does not like mangoes, he likes strawberries. So she changed her example. So if I give you 2 strawberries and 2 strawberries, how many will you have? 4, replied Arnav. Oh, the teacher was pleased by the change of strategy. Just to confirm that Arnav had understood his math right, she asked Arnav again, Arnav, if I give you 2 mangoes and 2 mangoes, how many will you have? Arnav replied, 5. The teacher now was annoyed. How can 2 and so strawberries be 4 and 2 and 2 mangoes be 5? Arnav replied, I already have 1 mango in my bag, ma'am. मेरे पास है, इसीलिए 5 है. तो अभी teacher is right and Arnav is also right. It's not that Arnav is wrong. From his perspective, he's right because he already has 1 mango. But the teacher does not know. And so the teacher feels that he's wrong. Right? So when I don't see the larger picture, I can really come into this or fall into this trap of, the game of wrong. This is wrong, that is wrong. It's really a waste thought. Yeah. And so it says that it's really nice. And the explanation says, who was right? Was the teacher wrong? No, because 2 plus 2 is 4. Was Arnav wrong? No, because 2 plus 2 is 4 and 1 mango in my bag makes it 5. So is it not a fact that all kinds of conflicts come because of the gap between technical and practical rightness? So one is technical rightness and one is practical rightness. The teacher was technically right. Technically rightness means to see the obvious. Technically right means to see what is visible, and Arnav was practically right. Practically rightness means to see beyond the obvious. Practical rightness means to see beyond what is visibly seen. Practical rightness means to see the hidden mango. So next time if I find myself judging someone else, what do I need to do? I need to look for their hidden mango. Hidden mango, right? So basically it's just the shift of perspective, right? Ultimately. So it says very often our conflicts come because the gap between the technical and practical rightness. Whenever you find that your spouse, for example, is not loving you enough, yes, you may be technically right. He or she may not actually love you that much, but are you practically right? Practically rightness means to see the hidden mango. Why is he or she not loving you? Your child may not be listening to you, and technically you're right, and your child is not listening to you, but are you practically right? Practically rightness means to try to see the hidden mango beyond the obvious, why your child is not behaving right. The next time you see someone not fit into your definition of what is technically right, please do not be judgmental. Go beyond the obvious. Go beyond the seen and try to look for the hidden mango, which will truly help you to understand the person and resolve the conflicting situation that you are in. It's not like a very, it's very small things that happen actually on a day-to-day interactions that we begin to judge others. But if I just step back and realize that everyone is right from their perspective and try to see the larger picture, then it will be. There's another story. Okay, let's watch another story.
A very short story. Don't judge others. A 24-year-old boy, seeing out from the train's window, shouted, "Dad, look, the trees are going behind." Dad smiled, and a young couple sitting nearby looked at the 24-year-old's childish behavior with pity. Suddenly, the boy again exclaimed, "Dad, look, the clouds are running with us." The couple couldn't resist and said to the old man, "Why don't you take your son to a good doctor?" The old man smiled and said, "I did, and we are just coming from the hospital. My son was blind from the birth. He just got his eyes today." So, every single person on the planet has a story. Therefore, don't judge people before you truly know them. The truth might surprise you. Thanks for watching.
It was a very short story, but quite meaningful, right? It's so easy to judge, right? So easy to judge. In psychology, there is what they say is there are two loops, and one is called a scarcity loop, and another is called an abundance loop. They also teach this at workplace, and it's very interesting to share this, how this really works. So the scarcity loop, where I feel the story is big. Story is basically drama. Whatever drama is happening all around me, if I give it life, if I make it big, means if I just blow things out of proportion, I zoom into something and make it an issue, for example, and making it big, then what happens is it creates fear. Because the story is uncertain. It can change. And because it can change, I will be in fear, right? And fear will generate anxiety. The mind will be anxious, worried. And anxiety will lead to poor choices, right? Because then I cannot decide properly because I am constantly anxious. And poor choices will lead to negative outcomes. And negative outcomes will further increase my fear. So it is like a spiral down. Right? So the moment I focus on wrong, it is like a spiral down. And my stage is coming down. And I'm constantly operating from fear and anxiety. And what I have done in my mind is I've made story big. The characters, the scenes, I've just made it all big. And constantly thinking about it. So it's called the scarcity loop. Means I'm focusing on what is not there or what is wrong. And the other side is called abundance loop, where the story is small. And I'm seeing the drama को हमने छोटा करके ऊपर से देख रहे हैं. So whatever it is, I'm grateful for it. I'm not judging. And that feeling of gratitude will create peace of mind. I'll be peaceful. And peace of mind will result in wise choices. And wise choices will result in positive outcomes. That will further increase gratitude. So it's an abundance loop. यानी ऊपर जा रहा है बहुत छोटी सी बात. What is it that I choose to focus on? Wrong or right? And if I always think everything is right, everyone is right, जिसको बाबा कहते हैं जो हुआ अच्छा हुआ, जो हो रहा है अच्छा हो रहा है, जो होने वाला है वो भी बहुत अच्छा है. तो आई एम ऑपरेटिंग फ्रॉम बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है तो आई एम ग्रेटफुल, थैंक यू, बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है. एंड देन व्हेन आई एम ग्रेटफुल, आई एम ऑटोमेटिकली operating from peace of mind. And then wise choices, positive outcomes, and then further. So it's the abundance loop. That's when I change, when wrong is right. I just internally change the perspective. Then it becomes a positive spin. So if you see, this image shows how this person is carrying the entire weight of the globe on his back, whereas here he is just holding it. Means the story represents this globe. मेरे साथ जो हुआ, हो रहा है, होने वाला है, या जो भी है, वो कहानी को, if I'm carrying it in my mind, then I'm burdened by it. I've made it big. And that's where I fall into scarcity loop. Right? And in scarcity loop is when I will always react. Always react. वो छोटी बात भी बड़ी लगेगी. कई बार छोटी सी बात है उसको इग्नोर करना होता है, पर वो भी हम बड़ी बना देते हैं. और अबंडेंस लूप में बड़ी बात भी छोटी हो जाती है, जो बाबा कहते हैं बड़ी बात भी छोटी हो जाए. So then when we, जब हम कहते हैं ना कि कैसे, why does it go towards wrong attention? The way it's all about, I'm projecting what I feel is right to the external reality. It's a projection. Projection है बस, और कुछ नहीं. Ego is a projection. What I feel is right, I am projecting onto others. And ego, the way ego works is quite interesting. Ego, it says that the ego loves to be right all the time. Not only that, it wants to prove others wrong, whilst it proves itself right. Ego will not discuss and will not reason. The ego does not allow itself to see that others can also have right ideas and may be right also. It's either the E way, means the ego way, or the highway. Because the ego is insecure, it cannot allow others to come close. So that's the way ego works. So ego हमेशा खुद को right समझेगा और बाकी सबको wrong समझेगा. So it's very interesting, like if I feel I am right and others are wrong, it means I'm influenced by ego, kahin na kahin. Because everyone is right, ultimately, everyone is right. ऐसा नहीं कोई right है, कोई wrong है, नहीं, सभी सही है. तो इसलिए जो बाबा भी कहते हैं ना कि सबके आइडिया को अपना आइडिया मान के चलो, ऐसे सोचो. Whoever is giving an idea, feel it is your idea, and then consider it or don't consider it. Like Dadiji also would ask for everyone to come to a common point before she would, it is basically that, ego won't allow us to do that. Ego will always create barriers. I'm right, you're wrong, without any reasoning. So maybe share another little video, and is also a nice story.
A man was waiting at an airport for a long-distance flight. His flight was delayed, and so he had a little spare time. He saw a deal on some cookies and thought he should treat himself. He bought quite a few cookies because he thought it might be quite a long delay. He took a seat near a man and started to read the magazine he also picked up earlier. He exchanged a glance with the other man and then tried to avoid eye contact as he went back to reading. While he was engrossed in his magazine, he happened to see that the man sitting beside him boldly grabbed a cookie from the container. He initially ignored the incident to avoid a scene. He grabbed a cookie himself and went back to his magazine. But the man seemed to have enjoyed the cookie so much, he took another one and started eating it too. This continued for a while, and with each passing moment, he began to get more and more irritated. Every time he took a cookie, so did the other man. When the last cookie was left, the man nervously took that cookie and broke it in half. He offered the other to the man and smiled. The man took the cookie and could not believe the other man's nerve. He was thinking in his head, how ungrateful could that man be? The other man then left and took the container with him. This guy couldn't believe what had just happened. He was relieved when his flight was called. He gathered his belongings. As he lifted his bag, he saw that there was a full container of cookies right there. He was totally shocked, totally surprised. It caught him off guard. He thought to himself, if my cookies are here, then wait, those cookies were his. The other man had shared his cookies whilst he was thinking he was the one doing the sharing. Whilst he was angry and irritated, the other man was being generous and kind. He felt so bad for what had happened, but he couldn't find the other man anywhere and didn't know how to apologize. Things are not always as they appear. Sometimes we make quick assumptions about people, circumstances, and situations. We judge them, label them, and put them into a box, not recognizing that there is a much bigger picture. Sometimes we meet someone in a particular state, stage, or phase of their life and stereotype them to be a certain way. Don't be so quick to judge. You never know when you might find yourself walking in someone else's shoes. And remember, the best apology is changed behavior.
It was really nice, right?
Very beautiful story. Very nice. Yes.
And this can happen to anyone. हिंदी में आप बताओ नरेश भाई बताएंगे.
पर हो सकता है डिफर हो जाए.
नहीं आप बताओ.
जैसे एक आदमी एयरपोर्ट में जा रहा था, उसका फ्लाइट डिले हो गया. तो उसने सोचा डिले हो गया, थोड़ी देर रुक लेता हूँ. तो उसने चॉकलेट कुकीज का ऑर्डर दिया और टेबल पर बैठ गया. अखबार पढ़ रहे, सामने एक और आदमी बैठा है, तो वहाँ कुकी रखी है. उसने एक उठाया, वो समझा मेरी कुकी है. एक उसने उठाया, उसने ग्लास में बच्चे उसने आते दे दिया. और वो सोचा देखो कितना पागल है, मेरी कुकी खा रहा है और ऐसे खा रहा है। लेकिन जब वो चला गया, जब देखा उसका कुकीज उसके पास रखा हुआ है, तो उसको बहुत दुख हुआ कि वो मुझे शेयर कर रहा था, मैं उसको ऐसे समझ रहा था। उसने कोशिश की ढूंढने के लिए, उसको ढूंढ नहीं पाया। फिर उसने व्यवहार चेंज किया, वो कुकीज को दूसरे को देके चला गया।
It's really nice, right? How our attitude can really change. Right.
Very beautiful. It gives the insight how judgmental we can become, without realizing the hidden or seeing the hidden mango or the picture beyond.
We can easily become so judgmental. Right.
And good thing was he didn't pass the judgment or he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
People
Correct.
would say or he didn't
Right.
know about the other person.
Other person. Yeah. Right. And spiritually seeing, it's like, when is it that I come into that consciousness of this is wrong, this is right, yes, sir. And I feel is when I've given too much importance to the drama. And my mind is completely absorbed in the drama. Because from the space of the soul, Atma ke perspective say, everything is good, everything is beautiful. There's nothing wrong. We are all souls, we are actors, we are playing our role in this game of life. No one is wrong, everyone is right, because this drama is accurate. It's only when I lose that consciousness and come into this and feel this is real, and then even unconsciously also, without even thinking about it, but I will fall trap to pardarshan, parchintan, parmat, right? That will automatically come. Right. And so to really do paropkar is like I really have to move out of the story and be in that zone where Baba wants us to be, right? It's to stay in the truth, to connect to the truth. In science, there is research on this scarcity loop versus abundance loop. And there is a very nice book on this. It's called The Upward Spiral. Upward Spiral. So it says that abundance loop, which is the attitude of gratitude, constant good wishes. There is a gratitude circuit in your brain badly in need of a workout. यानी ब्रेन में ग्रैटिट्यूड सर्किट है जिसको हमें एक्सरसाइज करनी है. Strengthening that circuit brings the power to elevate your physical and mental health, boost happiness, improve sleep, and help you feel more connected to other people. And so this is the upward spiral. So Alex Kolb, he is the author of this. So the more I am in this consciousness, everything is right, everyone is right. So again, it improves my physical health, my mental health, my sleep, everything. The more I come into this consciousness, सब कुछ अच्छा है, सब कुछ अच्छा है. अगर कुछ लग रहा है नहीं भी अच्छा है, तो भी हम अंदर से ये थॉट क्रिएट करेंगे, बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा है, ये भी बहुत अच्छा है. इस पे रिसर्च हुई.
जो भी संकल्प करते हैं वो वाइब्रेशन में,
हाँ,
वाइब्रेशन क्रिएट होता है, फिर वैसे ही हो जाता है.
ऐसे होने का.
अगर हम नेगेटिव संकल्प करेंगे तो वही वाइब्रेशन में होगा.
या
पॉजिटिव भी होगा वो भी फिर नेगेटिव हो जाएगा.
हाँ,
इसलिए ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव.
राइट. So it's called serotonin. It's called happy hormone. Spiral यानी ऊपर, upward loop. यानी हमारी स्थिति ऊपर ऊपर अच्छी होती जाएगी. इसको serotonin कहते हैं, happy hormone. Serotonin, amongst other functions, contributes to our happiness, well-being, and sleep. When low, it has been linked to depression. Practicing gratitude is one way to naturally boost your serotonin. So gratitude यानी just to see everything as right, everything as good. ये हुआ बहुत अच्छा हुआ, ये हो रहा है बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है, सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा है. Not to find faults, not to see anything or anyone is wrong. नहीं. And it's so easy, right? And then there's another thing called dopamine reward hormone. Once released, we want more of it and hence re-engage into the activities that make us feel good. है ना? जैसे ये भी एक ब्रेन में जैसे हार्मोन है, तो जब ये रिवॉर्ड हार्मोन कहते हैं, कोई भी हम कर्म करते हैं जिससे हमें अच्छा लगता है, इसलिए जो बाबा कहते हैं सेवा है, और सेवा करने से अच्छा बल मिला तो लगेगा अभी और करें, फिर और करें, फिर और करें. So it's called dopamine reward hormone. क्योंकि उससे बल मिल रहा है ऐसे. Right. So it's also abundance loop. It's also focusing on what is right.
ये हार्मोन सीक्रेट होता है ना.
हाँ, ब्रेन में हार्मोन सीक्रेट होता है. Yeah. Right.
डॉक्टर से बोलते हैं अगर आपको ब्लड प्रेशर है, हार्ट का बीमारी, खुश रहो तो आप ठीक हो जाओ.
हाँ.
मतलब वो फिर डोपामिन
Yeah.
सीक्रेशन होगा.
Yeah. Correct.
हर पल खुश रहेंगे. तो इसलिए बाबा कहते हैं कि हर नेगेटिव में भी आप पॉजिटिव
ढूंढो.
तो आपके हार्मोन वैसे ही सीक्रेट
होंगे.
सब कुछ अच्छा ही
अच्छा हो.
परमात्मा समझा रहे कि भगवान के बच्चों का कल्याण इस समय कभी हो नहीं सकता. बुरा भी है उसमें भी अच्छा,
इसमें भी अच्छा है.
ऑलवेज आप निश्चिंत रहो.
राइट.
निश्चिंत रहो कि संगम में मेरा बुरा हो ही नहीं सकता. कितनी भी विषम परिस्थिति है, के साथ भगवान खड़ा हुआ है. मेरे सारे विकर्म को विभाजन करा रहा है. 100% जो है उसको 10% में रिड्यूस करा रहा है.
Yeah. Right. It's all about just the more I stay in the truth, the more I'm able to hold on to this perspective is the exercise that I really need to do more. वही जो हम spirituality में, that's what we are learning, right? More and more to be soul conscious, to stay in Baba's remembrance. Because Baba always sees everything as right. Baba never says anything is wrong. Right? Because from Baba's perspective, everything is beautiful. This drama is beautiful. Baba never raises any question in the drama. ये क्यों हुआ? Baba always says, जो हुआ, ये drama अनुसार हुआ. So that's the way God's mind works. God is not into this thing of wrong or right. Everything is right.
बाबा कहते हैं ना, प्रसन्न चित नहीं प्रसन्न चित बनो.
बुद्धि और निश्चिंतता.
निश्चय बुद्धि और निश्चिंतता.
अगर हमारे पास में ये है तो आपको चिंता करना नहीं.
Yeah. So I'll just end with this, some important points. It's like when in transition, it's important to hold the zoomed out perspective. Transition यानी जब बहुत सारी चीजें हमारे सामने चेंज हो रही हैं हमारी लाइफ में, या कुछ भी, जैसे ना we are very busy externally, तो it's very important to hold the zoomed out. Zoomed out मतलब ऊपर से हम जो देख रहे हैं, तो वो रहना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि बहुत जल्दी हम रिएक्ट करने के मोड में आ सकते हैं जब हम ड्रामा के अंदर काम कर रहे हैं और तुरंत चीजें चेंज हो रही है. तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू होल्ड दैट पर्सपेक्टिव.
वो साक्षी होके देखो।
हाँ, तो कैसे होल्ड करेंगे? तो आई हैव टू रिपीटेडली आस्क माई सेल्फ, ये कब ऐसे, एक तो थ्योरी है, पर है कर्म करने के बीच बीच में, कर्म करते करते मुझे अपने आप से बात करनी है, जिसे बाबा स्वचिंतन कहते हैं। Who am I? Whose am I? Why am I here? Where am I headed? So this is, I have to ask myself all the time, internally, so that I am safe from labeling, judging. And it's very easy to fall into that trap. It automatically takes over the consciousness. Zoom out to a secure, safe space in between actions, above the clouds, to the unlimited sky. बीच बीच में जैसे बादलों के ऊपर चले जाएं, बादलों के ऊपर हमारा घर है, नहीं, जहां से हम आत्माएं आए हैं। बीच बीच में कर्म के बीच में हम चले गए, we spend some time there, we come down, then we go back, spend some time there. Just like satellites, no? They stay above and then just look down below. So our mind has to become like a satellite, not just ऊपर ही है। नहीं,
मतलब जो बाबा कहते हैं कि अपनी उच्च स्थिति में आ जाओ।
हाँ, ऊंची स्थिति।
आगे में सीन कोई ये था कि किस प्रकार से दुर्योधन कृष्ण का अपमान कर रहे थे, वो मैसेज लेकर आते हैं पांडवों का कि इनको उनका जमीन दे दी जाए, तो उन्होंने कहा मैं सुई की नोक के बराबर भी नहीं दूंगा। उन्होंने कहा नहीं, मुझे 5 गांव तुम दे दो ताकि वो आराम से रह सके पांडव लोग। उन्होंने कहा नहीं, मैं नहीं दे सकता हूँ, और उनकी इंसल्ट करता रहा दुर्योधन, उनकी इंसल्ट करता रहा। तब फिर भरी सभा में जब कृष्ण की इंसल्ट हुई, तो उन्होंने क्या किया, सुदर्शन चक्र ले लिया और अपने ऊंची स्थिति में आ गए, विराट स्वरूप, जो विराट स्वरूप है वो धारण कर लिया, तो हर एक को डरने लगा। अच्छा, है ना? तब परमात्मा यही कहते हैं, जब कोई परिस्थिति आती है, कोई तुम्हारी इंसल्ट करता है, तुम्हारी अपमान करता है, तुम्हारी बात को नहीं मानता है, तो आप सुदर्शन चक्र घुमाओ और अपनी ऊंची स्थिति में आ जाओ, तो फियर निकल जाएगा ऑटोमेटिकली, क्योंकि वो वाइब्रेशन क्रिएट होगी फिर।
Right.
Sarabhai, if we, live with this conscious,
फियर का वाइब्रेशन आ गया, तो फिर वो ठीक नहीं रहेगा। तो वाइब्रेशन फियर का आने नहीं देना, जो भी आप बता रहे थे। मेरे अपनी स्थिति ऊंची रहे, उसके लिए बाबा ने 100 का दर्शन बताया, सुदर्शन घुमाते रहो, बाबा की याद में आ जाए।
Yes.
तो ये जो होगा आपका उड़ा।
जी सरिता बहन, आप कुछ कह
actually, मैं कह रही थी, if we, live with this consciousness that, if, as you discussed, even if we think it is wrong, but then if we live with this consciousness that everybody is playing their own role, I think that too will help us not to be judgmental.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's what it says. When I'm in alignment with the larger perspective, God and Brahma become my friend. It's when I'm in alignment with this larger perspective, then God is on my side and drama is on my side. Means drama will work towards, making sure that everything is right. And God will also make sure that my stage, everything works fine. Then I don't have to really worry about it. My spiritual progress then is how fast and how long can I zoom out? Kitni jaldi? Can I do it in a second? Just switch the awareness. And how long? Kitni jaldi aur kitni der tak I can stay in that consciousness. This is my spiritual effort. In lambe samay tak I can just stay in that consciousness. Okay. When I'm zoomed out, my mind works based on spiritual touchings. When I'm zoomed out, my mind works based on spiritual touchings. तो अपने आप जैसे ना फिर परमात्मा की डायरेक्शंस महसूस होती है फिर। अच्छा अभी ये करना है, अभी ये ठीक, ऐसे करो, ऐसे करो, ऐसे। एंड वी ऑल हैव एक्सपीरियंस दैट, राइट? Is don't think until the time comes. मीन्स कई बार क्या होता है कि काम होना होता है 1 महीने बाद, 1 साल बाद, पर सोचना हम अभी से शुरू कर देते हैं। कई बार ऐसे होता है कि हम उसको सोच सोच के उसी के बारे में सोचते रहते हैं, है ना? वो भी जैसे हमें बहुत भारी कर देता है। सो डोंट थिंक अंटिल द टाइम कम्स। जब समय आएगा तो अपने आप ठीक ठाक हो जाएगा। नहीं तो हम बहुत सोचते हैं ना, 5 साल बाद क्या होगा, क्या करेंगे, कैसे करेंगे, हमारी लाइफ कैसी होगी, प्लानिंग क्या होगी, सोच चलता है। पर वही ड्रामा, so when I'm aligned to drama and Baba, then automatically things will work out when they have to. And when the time is right, receive the touching और अपने आप काम हो जाए। Zoom out, don't get attached, maintain zoomed out perspective whilst zoomed in to the details. मतलब जब हम किसी काम में engaged भी हैं तो भी ऊपर जैसे zoomed out हमारा विजन बैकग्राउंड में वही रहे, ताकि हम वो जजमेंटल इस एटीट्यूड में नहीं है। नहीं तो हम धीरे धीरे फिर पर चिंतन, पर दर्शन इसमें ही आ जाएंगे। तो दिस इज द एफर्ट वी नीड टू मेक एक्चुअली। ऐसे तो हम करते ही हैं सभी, पर वही दिस इज लिटिल बिट अराउंड दैट। देखिए स्वदर्शन, स्वचिंतन, श्रीमत, इसमें ही हम engaged रहे।
So beautifully explained the points. That it's all about zoomed out, or we can be zoomed out. And the last point also connects it with zoom in, as in how we have to handle the drama.
Drama. Yeah. You know, then when Baba says, keep Baba in front, it really means this, so that I'm seeing the larger perspective. I'm working, towards Baba's vibrations. And so then the mind is not pulled into the story that much. Sha, Om Shanti. Thank you. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, family. Any thoughts anyone like to add, share?
हम इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट थोड़े अच्छे हैं, थोड़ा हिंदी में होने से अच्छा।
हिंदी में कौन बताएंगे? बताएंगे।
ये तो क्या ज्ञान है, ये मतलब ये है कि जब हम काम कर रहे हैं और अप्स डाउन बहुत ज्यादा हो रहे हैं, सिचुएशन कंडीशन चेंज हो रहे हैं बहुत जल्दी, वो हमारे हाथ में नहीं है, तो हमको उस टाइम चुप रहना है। कुछ सोचना भी नहीं, कुछ बोलना नहीं, कुछ करना नहीं है, साइलेंट होकर देखना है उसको, ड्रामा को जो बदल रहा है बदलने दो उसको, रिजल्ट देखेंगे जब एंड होगा तब देखेंगे। और तो जब भी कोई बात होती है तो हम इससे मैं कौन हूँ, कहाँ से आया हूँ, किसका हूँ, मैं यहाँ क्यों हूँ और मुझे कहाँ जाना है। अगर मुझे याद रहे मैं कौन हूँ, मैं तो कुछ हुआ ही नहीं, किसका हूँ, किसी का भी नहीं, अंत में तो कोई नहीं साथ में। इसका मैं यहाँ क्यों हूँ, क्योंकि परिस्थिति लाई है मेरे को यहाँ, अपनी वजह से नहीं आया। कहाँ जाना है, जाना वहां है, तो फिर किस्मत का। ये चीजें अगर थोड़ा चलता है और अगर ये चीज रहेगी तो हमको हम सुरक्षित हो जाएंगे कि उसमें कोई भी किसी चीज को अटैक नहीं होगा हमारे ऊपर, वातावरण का, परिस्थितियों का। और उसमें फिर वही है कि जब भी हम काम करें तो काम करते करते कुछ देर को हम परम धाम में चले जाए, एकदम दुनिया से छोड़ के कुछ देर के लिए, तो माइंड को, बॉडी को रिलीफ मिलेगा। और जब हम ये सोचेंगे हम कहाँ से आए थे, कहाँ जाना है, तो बाकी चीजें भी मालूम नहीं पड़ेगी। जब जाना है तो जाना है, ये तो सब चलता ही रहेगा, दुनिया चलती रहेगी ना, हमारे जाने से कुछ रुकेगा। हम रहेंगे तब भी चलेगा, नहीं रहेंगे तब भी चलेगा, कुछ बंद होने वाला नहीं है। हमको सिर्फ अपना जो भगवान है, जो भी हम है, उससे हमको रखना है। और ये भी हम कितना जल्दी अपने आप को परिस्थितियों से मुक्त कर सकते हैं, ये हमारा देखा था, हमारे स्टेटस क्या है, अप है या डाउन है। अगर अप है तो हम जल्दी ऊपर चले जाएंगे, डाउन है तो नीचे रहेंगे। और मेरा दिमाग जो है, जो काम कर रहा है, वो उसी में काम करे कि मैं कौन हूं, मैं एक आत्मा हूं, ना कुछ लाया था ना कुछ ले जाऊंगा। ये तो बाबा ज्ञान तो बाद में है, ऐसे भी सब जानते हैं, ना हम कुछ लाए थे ना कुछ ले जाएंगे। उल्टे जब आते हैं तो बच्चे की मुट्ठी बंदी होती है, और जब जाते हैं तो हाथ खुला रहता है। कुछ लेके आता है, लेकिन जब जाता है तो कुछ भी लेके नहीं जा सकता, खाली हाथ जाता है। और जब तक समय नहीं है तब तक सोचना नहीं है। जैसे इसमें छोटा सा एक आ रहा है कि किसी को इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट करना था, हर महीने इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट करना होता है। अब एक आदमी पहले से दुखी है, 1 तारीख को पेमेंट करना है, दुखी हो रहा है। दूसरा बोला क्यों सोच रहा है, 1 तारीख तब सोच लेना। अभी से क्यों सोचना है, जब इंटरेस्ट देना मौका तब ना देना। अभी से क्यों अपना बर्डन ले रहे हो इतना कुछ। और फिर हमको किसी चीज से अटैच नहीं होना है। अटैच तो फिर यही है कि हमको कहाँ से आए थे, कहाँ जाना है, क्यों यहाँ पर है, क्या कर रहे हैं, कौन हमारा है, कौन किसका है। और लेकिन जो डिटेल्स है उसमें हमको ध्यान रखना है, ये डिटेल्स उसको हमको हमेशा ध्यान रखना है। इसी बात पर एक छोटा सा रामायण का, जो रामायण कहते हैं ना, कैकेयी और मंथरा को सब लोग बहुत ज्यादा वो करते हैं, लेकिन जब राम आए थे, क्यों आए थे, बुराइयों को मिटाने के लिए, रावण को मिटाने के लिए, राक्षसों को मारने के लिए। अगर अयोध्या में रहते, शादी करके वहीं पड़े रहते राजमहल, तो कैसे होता। तो उसने बताते देवता लोग गए कैकेयी के, बोलो किसके पास जाए, कौन कर सकते हैं काम। कि राम को जंगल जब तक महल बनेंगे तो कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे। तो उनको लगा कैकेयी एक ऐसी है जो इतना सहन कर सकती है। तो कैकेयी के पास गए कि तुम ऐसा करो, कुछ करो, नहीं तो उनका तो आने का भी पर्पस खत्म हो जाएगा। और जितने वरदान मिले हुए थे सबको, मेघनाथ को वरदान मिला था जो 14 साल तक सोए ना हो, 14 ना हो, नींद नहीं किया हो, जिसने कुछ खाया नहीं हो, विवाहित होते हो पत्नी से अलग रहे, वो इसको मार सकता है। इसको वरदान मिला था मेघनाथ को। तो अब वो लक्ष्मण को वो तो जब बोला कि वो कहाँ है, तो सब पीछे पड़ा हुआ था खाना, वो खाते नहीं थे, अपना हिस्सा छोड़ देते थे, और अब से जगते रहते थे, कोई सोते नहीं थे।
तो अपने हिस्सा क्यों छोड़ते नहीं?
उनको अब खा लेंगे तो नींद आएगी, अगर खा लेंगे तो नींद आएगी ना, फिर पेट भरा तो नींद आएगी, कैसे सेवा करेंगे।
अच्छे लोग समझ नहीं पाएंगे कैसे कैसे पॉसिबल
नहीं,
है।
अब मत समझो, ये कोई समझने की बातें नहीं है, ये सिर्फ नहीं, मत सोच, कोई ना समझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता उससे।
वेरी गुड।
ये कुछ आर्गुमेंट के लिए नहीं है कोई चीज, ये सब। और हर एक की लाइफ एक स्टोरी है। अगर कोई अपनी जिंदगी के पीछे झांके तो उसको मालूम पड़ जाएगा कि बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी हुई जो उसको उस समय लगा बहुत खराब है, उससे खराब कुछ हो नहीं सकता है, लेकिन लास्ट में रिजल्ट क्या हुआ, वो सच्चा और कुछ था ही नहीं। वो सबसे अच्छा था। हर एक कोई अपनी जिंदगी को जाके देख ले, एक स्टोरी मिल जाएगी उसको।
राइट। शांति।
लगता है कि मेरे भाई ने इतनी प्यारी स्टोरी सुनाई है, उसी को ही हम चिंतन करें तो बहुत अच्छा है। बट हाँ, सारे पॉइंट कवर करे। लास्ट वाले पॉइंट में ये है कि हम अपने ड्रामा के अंदर जब चेंजेस आते हैं या कोई नए प्रोजेक्ट्स मिलते हैं तो इतना ज्यादा इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं, इतने ज्यादा घुस जाते हैं कि हमारा जो कनेक्शन है वो उसमें थोड़ा सा डामाडोल आ जाता है। तो उस हिसाब अगर हम ये जूम इन और जूम आउट वाला पॉइंट रखें तो वो बहुत अच्छा है, क्योंकि हम बैलेंस भी चाहिए। हमें वो काम टास्क भी बहुत अच्छे से करना है और हम चिंतन करते रहें कि हम कौन है, आत्मा है। और हम इस धरती पे अपना एक रोल प्ले करने आए हैं, सबके साथ, अपनी फैमिली के साथ सबसे पहले तो, और सबके साथ जो भी हमें मिलते हैं तो वो बहुत अच्छे से करें। और ये जूम इन और जूम आउट होके हम देखें कि ऊपर से देखें, बादलों के ऊपर से, कि हम तो वहीं से आए हैं, परम धाम से, तो बहुत आसानी हो जाएगी, तो बहुत इजी लगेगा। नहीं तो यही छोटी छोटी चीजें हमें इतना ज्यादा परेशान कर देती हैं या फिर ऊपर नीचे ले जाती हैं। तो और सारे पॉइंट्स बहुत अच्छे थे जितना डिस्कस करेगा। मैं थिंक जो भी जूम कॉल पे वो भी शेयर कर सकते हैं।
एक मिनट में और भैया, जो लास्ट पॉइंट है, जूम आउट, डोंट गेट अटैच्ड, मेंटेन जूम्ड आउट पर्सपेक्टिव व्हाइल जूम्ड इन ऑन डिटेल्स। मतलब हम कोई भी काम कर रहे हैं, हम ऐसे नहीं कि ऊपर चले उसको भूल जाएं। जो काम हो रहा है उस पर ध्यान रखना है पूरा, काम कैसे करना है, कैसे क्या होना है, वो जरूर ध्यान रखना है। वो है जूम इन डिटेल्स, कि उसको ना भूल जाए कि हम क्या कर रहे थे।
Nice, thank you. Any other thoughts from Zoom out? From Zoom, any other thoughts?
मुझे तो ऐसे लगता है कि बाबा हमेशा कहते हैं कि मैं कौन हूँ ये याद रहे और मेरा कौन है ये याद रहे, तो हमारी कोई प्रॉब्लम रहती ही नहीं, क्योंकि हमारा मन एकाग्र है। तो जो भी कुछ मेरी लाइफ में होगा वो बेहतर से बेहतर ही होगा।
राइट,
गलत हो ही नहीं सकता।
करेक्ट।
और अगर गलत हो रहा है तो फिर बाबा कहते हैं कि बच्चे तुम वापस मेरे को याद करो।
राइट,
तो जैसे ही हम सोल कॉन्शियस में आकर सुप्रीम सोल के साथ में होते हैं तो मेरे सामने जो भी सिचुएशन आएगी वो गलत हो ही नहीं सकती।
करेक्ट, वेरी नाइस।
तो गलत हो रही है तो हमें चेक करना है। कितना इजी कर दिया ना बच्चों के लिए।
Sure. Any other final thoughts anyone would like to share? Sure. So thank you so much for joining and have a good evening, everyone. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti, good evening.
Evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarupai.
Thank you.
Very beautiful
Bye.
discussion.
Thank you.
Us
Welcome
not to be
back,
judged.
Babu. Are you
Thank
back?
you. Yes, Sarupai, we're back in
Good.
Maryland and we'll be in Indianapolis Monday night.
Arriba. That's great. Forward to seeing
Thank
you
you.
soon.
Yeah, I know Simran kept talking about the weekend, what a blissful weekend it was, and he gave us the details, you know. He used to ring 3-4 times a day just to
Wow.
tell us how much all of you were blessed with and what a blissful weekend it was. Yeah, so good. Very nice. I'm also looking forward to be in Indianapolis. Hope to see everyone soon. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. Om
Thank-
Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Bhaji.
Thank you, Vishnu. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh Bhai. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Om Shanti. Kaushal Bhai.